If we don't embrace crypto and Bitcoin technology, China will, other countries will, they'll dominate, and we cannot let China dominate. And if Bitcoin is going to the moon, as we say, it's going to the moon, I want America to be the nation that leads the way, and that's what's going to happen.
Well, cryptocurrency surged to record high prices this week after President-elect Trump won the election. Bitcoin skyrocketed to a record $75,000 days ago, surpassing its previous peak set back in March, with Donald Trump set to head back to the White House. In January, many are wondering what this will mean for the future of cryptocurrency in the U.S. Let's bring in Dominick Tavella. He is the president of Lebenthal Global Advisors. So, how does the future of cryptocurrency change now?
Well, there's certainly many in the industry that think it's a lot brighter going forward today than it was even a month ago. But in all fairness, both candidates really campaigned on the idea that crypto needs to be an integral part of our financial system. And Trump has been very, very enthusiastic about supporting it.
And will cryptocurrency impact the U.S. economy, good or bad?
You have to think the global economy is going to be and is being affected as we speak. You have countries around the world, whether it's Switzerland or the Emirates. China certainly has developed its own crypto. And Europe has been far ahead of the U.S. in implementing regulations and developing regulations and how to actively manage the crypto. So we've been a little bit behind the curve on this one. And I think everybody in the crypto industry is anxious to get some real rules and regulations so that we can move forward and make this part of our economy.
And so do you think President-elect Trump will actually work on those regulations early on, if that's such a desire to have them?
Well, two things there, Arthel. The first is obviously Trump is very pro-crypto, and his own family's actually gotten involved in it. But we also have perhaps the most pro-crypto Congress we have seen ever. So I think from a perspective of being competitive on the world stage, we do need to get our act together. And we've kind of been behind the ball on that one. So I do expect that we're going to see new regulations, new laws going forward that will regulate how these currencies and other asset classes get used. And it's important that we be central to that on a world stage. Otherwise, Trump is correct. Other countries, China, will literally control the whole spectrum of it.
Is there space for legacy investments and cryptocurrency?
Well, it's funny that you should ask that. I don't think this really replaces the traditional stocks or bonds or real estate. I think it's a complement too. And that's been part of the problem with cryptos in general, that they're kind of having a hard time defining where they fit in this space. So in terms of an asset class, I think it's a complement to these other asset classes. Some people look at it as an alternative to gold or an alternative to the stock market, or even an alternative to currencies, the dollar or the euro. We see it more as a complement of it being part of a total portfolio.
Okay, so how do beginners get in? Like, what's the best way to start investing in cryptocurrency?
Well, carefully would probably be the most logical answer here, but you have big players now in the industry. This didn't exist just a couple of years ago, where a BlackRock or a Fidelity or an Invesco actually offer ETFs. So these exchange-traded funds, you're now able to buy these currencies. You're able to hold them inside of a portfolio, inside of an IRA account. You could never do that before. So that in itself makes more assets, more dollars come into this space. I think for the novice, this is a good way to start owning some of these currencies. In terms of buying them directly and where you hold them, where those assets are custodied, that's kind of the problems we're dealing with right now. And until that all gets resolved, I would go the ETF route.
Really quickly, yes or no, do you consider cryptocurrency now, given all the ramifications we've been discussing? Do you feel that this is a risky investment or not?
risky in terms of volatility, right? So we've had a phenomenal year in crypto, but we've also gone through days and years where the thing spikes 100% and then comes back down 50%. So for the average investor, I would still caution, be careful here. Maybe a small part of your portfolio, 5%. I don't know if I'd go over 10. We actually do not hold it in our client accounts. As a fiduciary, we're still on the sidelines waiting to see how this picture plays out. But if you want to speculate a little bit and can deal with the volatility, maybe a small percentage of your portfolio through an ETF is probably the best way to go, the safest way to go.
All right. Thank you, Dominick Tavella. Appreciate the advice. Thank you very much.
It was a pleasure.